Finally, both of them agreed that some other families from other towns, far and near, came and settled in the land now known as Oruku. With time, they became an integral part of the Oruku community together with the original settlers. But then, Oruku originally had 8 sons, according to this first account, and according to some sources. The eldest son was Ota. The names of his children, according to the order of seniority, are Ota, Nkwele, Ezenaja, Irukweleko, Ameze, Demobana, Urua, Amada, Ibenabo. The possibility of Oruku having a female child has not been established. In Ota village, the eldest of the kindred is the Oteke. Oteke is the first son of Ota, who is the son of Oruku. Together with other sons of Oruku, they make up Ota village. This kindred maintains the Obi of Oruku. Genealogically, the family of Peter Udezani is the Isiani of Oruku. He is the head of the Ezani society, a society whose duty it is to crown the Igwe. They are the kingmakers, and in matters of tradition, they are consulted. In any society, there are some people who migrate and settle in another community. Oraukwu is not an exception. Some group of people migrated to Oruku and eventually mixed up with the original owners of the land. Such families can be found in every village. When the white men invaded the Igbo land with their brand of government and religion, Oruku was one of such towns that was heavily influenced by the strange practices of the white man. Such influences came by way of Western education and Western civilization. The people of Oruku embraced it with both hands. A lot of them sent their children to school. Some others took to trading and migrated to the then Otunkwo Onitsha for Abada trade. Many of them became highly successful. Some others traveled to Enugu and became coal miners. Others joined rice farmers in Abakaliki and established rice fields. The increase in the number of the educated people in the town led to the formation of Oruku Progressive Union, OPU. The large presence of the newly educated young men and women who joined this group culminated into an intellectual gymnastics and brainstorming on how to fashion out a better name for the town. Examples were made of some neighboring towns who had their names changed by their people as a way of projecting a better reflection of who they are. Such towns include Oketiti, formerly known as Oka Nkakwu, Igbo-Ukwu, formerly known as Igbo, Ekwulummili, formerly known as Ekwulatolo, and Mba-Ukwu, formerly known as Nnambu. The group, after a careful consideration of some select names, finally settled for Oruku, the town of the great.
Oh, slip of tongue. Mbabaria, Oruku. Thank you. Abu, Etu, Ndebo, Ndaha, busy not, no, of Yan. But Yababa, Yabo, Oruku. Aha. Owelu na n'oge nke Akanebu. NCNC Akanebu. Ya bụ igwe. Ewesi na ife adịgo. Amadi ndị jere akwụkwọ erikwugo nne. Mali pronunciation. Tu esi aba ife afọ kwụrụ ọtọ. Ewesi mba. N'ife ndị a na-achọ ka ha kpọọ Fabo bụ ihe eji egbo ya Oruku bụ obodo buru ibu. Ọ bụghị ofu onye ga-aza Oruku na obodo buru ibu. Wee sị na ihe adịghị n'ime ya na-aga eme ya ka ọ ghara anaghị akpọzụ ụkwụ n'ọnụ. Ife a ga na-aza ọ ga na-asakwa bụ Oraukwu. Ifugo ya Oraukwu. Ọ dị si hụ n'ịha gị.
In secular societies, festivals and feasts would amount to communal celebrations involving carefully planned programs, outpouring of respect, rejoicing, or high revelry, established by custom or sponsored by various cultural groups or organizations. Oraukwu has some major festivals, namely Ofala, Odunke, Eboji, Iwaji, Eromuo, Uziyi, Ahajoko, Olise, and so on. Ofala Festival, Iguaro. The word Ofala, as one of those non-indigenous Igbo words, probably Igala derivatives, but more precisely origin unknown, would best be defined as a royal outing involving communal celebrations in a carefully planned program wrapped up in grandeur and outpouring of respect, reverie, and as established by custom and sponsored by the Eze, Igwe or Obi, in a traditional Igbo society. With the benefit of hindsight, it is easy and safe to say that Ofala Festival represents the apotheosis of Eze, Igwe or Obi in Igbo land. The event is used to celebrate in royal fashion the reign of the Igwe, unprecedented for its length, its glory, its prosperity, and let it be added, its goodness and peaceful tenure. In Oruku, it is not the practice of the Igwe to take on this royal event annually, as it is in the tradition and practice of some other royal fathers to take on the event yearly. An example of such towns is Onitsha. In fact, all the traditional rulers of Oruku, starting from Igwe Abo I, celebrated the Ofala festival only twice in the course of their reign, after coronation and before their funeral ceremonies. In other words, an Igwe cannot be pronounced to be dead until after his last Ofala. His first son stands in for him during the last Ofala, and the funeral ceremonies follows thereafter. The last Ofala therefore signifies the vacancy of the throne. The Ofala festival is traditionally a 2-day event. It is usually kick-started with 21 cannon gun salute, which is followed by all-night Ufie music and other cultural troops. By 12 noon of the second day, gaily dressed individuals and groups from Oruku and beyond begin to take their places in preparation for the commencement of the event amidst a medley of the drumming and musical rendition from cultural troops and entertainers. The sight of the crowd, the events, and compliments from the audience, the glory of it, the knowledge of its true meaning, all this usually evoke enthusiasm devoted principally to the Igwe. And once the arriving College of Cardinals, that's talking about red cap chiefs, had taken their assigned seats, then the stage is set for the appearance of Igwe himself. This he does in grand style in consonance with tradition. The Igwe is emerged like the rising sun, resplendent in white bordered gold and black robes. He accepts with no ordinary pleasure, but with demonstrative delight, the tributes of eager loyalty, which are usually shared from every side. As His Royal Highness makes his way around the arena, cabinet and council in chiefs form an escort around him, together with the members of his age grade. He forms a spectacular picture in his elaborated ceremonial regalia with its intrinsic designs, complemented by royal beads, brass and ivory anklets, and brass staff of authority. More eye-catching is the headgear, which is elaborately decorated with a profusion of very expensive feathers, of rebets, and little mirrors. Thus attired, he dances and sways with elegant and royal praise, in tune with the rhythmic throbs of drums and other local musical instruments. The vast concourse of people enthusiastically loudly hailing him and screaming, Igwe, 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 Igwe Igade, you will live long on the throne, rends the air. The Igwe acknowledges their homage by touching their backs with the royal fly whisk. The Igwe retreats back in his palace, and the people of Oruku and even people from other lands start trooping into his palace to pay homage to him with gifts of different kinds. There are many accounts as there are old men in relation to the origins of yam and the New Yam Festival in Igbo land. But perhaps the most familiar of all the stories about the origin of the ritual surrounding the eating of the new yam is the one that tells how when it was first brought into our communities, yams were an untested food item. In view of the entire community dying from food poisoning, domestic animals, slaves and bonded men were forced to eat the yam first. Not until it was established as a safe food item did the leaders of the community allow the generality of the public to partake of it. Yam is the most uneconomical crop to cultivate. For one thing, there's usually one harvest a year. For another, cultivating yam is truly a man's job. Only the able-bodied and persevering can successfully do it. Moreover, unlike the cassava, yam depends on its own tubers for propagation. This means that a substantial part of each harvest is earmarked for the next year's planting. It is therefore a precious plant indeed, and if for any reason its harvest failed, the community will be doomed, as it were, to starvation. Seeding of yams, especially already cultivated yam seedlings, is an abomination in Igbo land. The people of Oruku had 2 yam festivals, Ekboji and Ewaji. In the days of yore, the people of Oruku had no such feast as Ewaji. What was obtainable was Ekboji. This means official display of yams in the marketplace.
Even the stores in nearby, my favorite do not have dinner in the store. What name is your man? Because you had that authority. He is the job for nothing. When on a area, with your fear for nothing. And on I am Mrs. Day, be way in council. You will make it much. Before we did what I did not have, only when it came to Jibanafia, until now, Jinafia, and we gave the
Eboji in Oruku is the celebration of the selling for the first time in that year new yams which were dug out from Oruku soil. Once this is done, it means that Oruku people can now go to their various farms and harvest their yams for either private use or for sale in the marketplace. What this implies is that yam cannot be brought into the marketplace until the ceremony is done. It is the duty of the prestigious AEC and Ofala Title Society to perform this function. The head of this group, accompanied by other members, will take some yams dug out from Oruku soil in a long basket, opa, to the market for the display of the yam in a selling position. The members of Oruku community present will price the yam. Once this is done, he collects the yams back into the opa and goes home. The ceremony is a flag off of the sale of new yams in Oruku markets. Over time, farmers who harvested extraordinarily large yams were encouraged to display them in the market. The biggest yam is chosen, and the farmer who cultivated it is given a prize. There are also prizes for the second and third positions relating to the bigness of the yams. The 2012 Ekboji ceremony was very colorful, with cultural dance displays and masquerades. Villagers trooped out en masse to join the AEC group in the ceremony. The AEC group was led into the arena by the Gonkwele cultural dance. Some farmers displayed their huge yams, a sign that Oruku's land is very fertile. 3 of them received prizes for their exceptional harvests. Chief Joseph Ilogo from Ezennaja came first. Eman Nekbo, also from Ezennaja, went on with the second position, while Onoraima from Amakeze village clinched the third position. Awamji has a recent origin in Oruku. It was introduced during the reign of Chief CNC Akanebu. This new custom made the town fit in with the modern Igbo society, where Awamji is widely celebrated. Awamji depicts the prominence of yam in the socio-cultural life of the Igbo people. It is normally done in the Igwe's palace in the company of the entire town. Roasted yam and palm oil is presented before the Igwe, and he cuts the yam into two, amidst cheers from the crowd. He then cuts out a small piece of yam, dips it in red oil, and eats it. It symbolizes the conclusion of a harvest and the beginning of the next work cycle. The rituals are meant to express the gratitude of the community to God for making the harvest possible. The day is symbolic of enjoyment after the cultivation season, and the plenty is shared with friends and well-wishers. A variety of festivities mark the New Yam Festival. The colorful festival is a spectacle of exhibited joy, thanks, and community displays. It also fosters a sense of community and encourages hard work.
Every September, you went out. You have one after one away. I was one away at that. More you feel
no, I bet you see you. I hate you to meet you. They can be both